As stay-at-home moms, a major plus to this role is that it is so flexible, but sometimes having too much flexibility can leave us feeling overwhelmed and not even sure where to start. If you're a new homemaker or stay-at-home mom and you're trying to find a way to plan your weeks that will help save you time, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Jamila, a homemaker and stay-at-home mom to 2 kids under the age of 2, and I created this channel to help Black women like you grow in making their house into a home, into loving their families, and in hospitality, all from a Christian perspective. So if this is something you're interested in, I hope you will subscribe and stay around. So let's get back into the video. So I'm coming to you from Saturday morning, early Saturday morning. My husband is out picking up our weekly groceries with the kids. The sun is still coming up. I have my candle here to just set the mood as we plan our upcoming weeks together. If you've recently transitioned to full-time care of your home and family, you may now realize that just because there aren't deadlines on the calendar, appointments, or even places to be, there's still lots of things to be done in a week to care for your family, your home, and your community. There's so many things you're responsible for. Meal planning, scheduling appointments, contacting businesses and other people, and there's just so many other things that's on your plate right now. The mental load is as heavy as ever. And since I've been a person that has typically always tried to plan out my weeks and my days ahead, I've noticed that especially with homemaking, it is so crucial to plan out your week in advance because there really is no other structure except for the one that you put in place. And so I've noticed that my weeks just flow so much smoother and so much better when I take the time to do this in advance. And taking the time to plan out your week just really helps with not feeling so overwhelmed because you're not constantly living with this never-ending to-do list in your mind. You put it on paper and then you're able to spread it out, and that just helps it to become more attainable and manageable as you go about your week. And this just also allows for you to put things in logical order, and so you're not ever having to double back on something. You can just stack things together that make sense, and that'll save you time and energy. And so Brian Tracy, the author of Eat That Frog, says that for every minute you put into planning, you save 10 minutes of execution. And then he also said for every 10 to 12 minutes invested in planning your day, you will save at least 2 hours of wasted time and effort throughout the day. And because my mission is to help moms like you in your homemaking and in your families, I have created a free resource that you can find linked below. It is a brain dump and weekly planner that will just help you get everything out that's on your mind, and then also help you plug it in to each day of the week so that you have a sustainable pace and that you can save yourself time and stress. And so go ahead and grab yours now in the description. So my husband, he has this nice fancy iPad, and so I asked him to borrow it. So let's get into it. So I actually normally will write mine down on physical paper, so I would print this out or put this in my planner. But since I wanted to show you all what I was doing, I am going to be using my husband's iPad so I can screen record and you can see what I'm doing at the same time. So let me get that set up. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just show you what is included, and then I'm going to start plugging in my week. So the first part is your brain dump. It's just where you're going to unload your mental load. You're going to write every single thing down that's in your mind that you think that you need to get done this week, that has to get done this week. And so beside that, I have included just some general prompts to help guide you in case you're just want to make sure you're not really overlooking anything. But you first just want to start off with everything that's on your mind, get that out, and then you can look over here and make sure you're not forgetting anything. And then you're going to plug in what was on the brain dump into the weekly overview. So for meals, you can kind of plug those in based off of what other things are going on in the week. So if you have a busy evening, you might need to do one of your quicker meals, or even try to see if there's room in the budget to eat out that night. So for laundry, I do try to stick to doing one load a day. So I kind of put that here so I'll know what type of laundry I want to do in that day. But if that's not something you do, then you can just disregard it. Appointments, that just includes anywhere that we have to be that has a particular time for us to be there. So it could be like doctor's appointments, but then it could also be like events, social engagements, or even like just activities for the kids. So for the top 2 tasks, I chose 2 tasks because with 2 little kids, that's about all I can get done outside of my everyday responsibilities already. So, but if you feel like you need either more or less than that, then certainly choose whatever works for your season. Lastly, here I have the bonus section, and that's just a place to put anything extra that if you have the time for, you would like to get done. But if it doesn't get done, You don't have to feel guilty about it because it wasn't in your top priority for that day. So if it doesn't get done, all you do is just move it to another day or another week. So I'm going to start dumping out everything in my mind that I need to get done this week. And so you may want to reference to your to-do list on your phone, or if you have another planner that you write things down in. But then you also want to make sure that you check your calendar. Your home. I don't even know how to. Well, I tried. Okay, so now that we got all of that taken care of, we are ready to do our brain dump. So as far as meals go, I do try to go ahead and plan out my meals on Friday so we can have them ordered and picked up by Saturday morning. But we are trying to go through our pantry and eat those things up first. So I'm going to try to make a note of that on my brain dump. And then when it comes to cleaning, I know that last week my son wrote on our sheets with pen, and I've been meaning to get that off. So I'll try to make time for that this week. Appointments. It is our anniversary. We didn't make it to the library story time last week, so if we can, I'll try to make it this week. Errands, I need more olive oil, which means I need to go to Sam's. Anything else that we're running low on? I have to think through that. And then if I'm by Sam, I'm gonna see if I can maybe stop at Kay's. So for Christmas, one of my gifts were these earrings, but unfortunately I broke them some kind of way, and so I'm gonna see if I can get that fixed. We don't have any Amazon returns right now. Follow up, I've been emailing our tax consultant, so I need a follow up BPA email about watch. And so we kind of do a toy rotation. And so the toys that my son has had out now have been out for quite a while. So if I do have the time this week, I would like to change those out. So that is everything that I have on my mind as far as what's coming up. And so I got that out of my mind, wrote it down. And so now we're going to plug it into the week and see where it fits. Okay, so like I already mentioned, I do go ahead and plan out our meals. So I'll just plug those in. And so, like I said, this week we do have our anniversary, which will be on Thursday. And so we will be probably eating out that day. But it's probably best if you were to start with your appointment slots, just in case anything is more hectic one day, you can reserve that day for like a simpler meal or eating out. So I looked at our calendar and we don't have many appointments this week. And so for our anniversary, we are planning on dropping my son off with his grandmother. And so we're gonna have a date day. So I'm gonna see if there's any movies that we want to go see and try to reserve that. And so if our son stays with his grandmother on our anniversary, I'll just go pick him up the next day. So we have Bible study on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Library story time. Okay, so I plugged in as far as our outings go next week. And then as far as laundry goes, I'll probably clean the kitchen towels after I'm done with all the meal planning on Monday. Tuesday will probably be kids' clothes. And then Wednesday will probably be my clothes. And then no laundry is probably going to get done on our anniversary. And then Friday is typically like bath towels. And then I'll probably do wash all bedding on Saturday. So that's probably how the laundry will get done this week. Sunday is my rest day. I will try not to do any extra housework. I will just make sure that my family is fed and cared for. So if we do have room in the budget, we will eat out, or sometimes we'll have leftovers. And so since that's the case, I do not do any laundry on Sunday. So the main task on Sunday is to rest. But I do want to hand out thank you cards at church. I have some that I need to give out. So I want to make a note that I will remember to do that at church. And so on Sundays in the evenings, I try to reserve time for us to go outside and play as a family, go walking, or after the kids go to sleep, I try not to do any work. I might try to spend more time crafting. And so I'll make note of any projects that I may want to do. But if I don't feel up to it, that's totally okay because it's a rest day. Okay, so then I'll go to Monday. We don't have any appointments on Monday. My top tasks are to prep lunch. And so I'll probably be making chicken taquitos. for lunch, and then I want to make some muffins so that we'll have it for snack. And so I did pledge to read for 1 hour on Monday as part of his organization. So I'm going to make note of that. Tuesday is typically like our errand, outing, social day. So I'm going to plug in going to K's on that day. And since I'm going on that side of town, I might as well do the Sam's pickup. On Wednesday, email about watch. And so I have been working on a household management binder, which I plan to share with you all later. So I kind of want to work on that this week as well if I have a chance. Thursday is typically when I would do like a deep cleaning or try to target some type of organizing in our home. But since it's our anniversary, I'm not going to write that down as a top priority that day. I'll see if that task can get shifted to another day this week as a bonus. But if not, we'll have to move it to next week. And that's okay. And so on this day, things that would have fit would have been probably to change over my son's toys and to declutter their clothes. So I'm going to see if I can possibly fit that on Wednesday, toys, and then maybe on this day, declutter kids' clothes. And so, yeah, if I'm going to be out of the house picking up my son, it may not happen depending on what time we get home. But what I do want to prioritize on Thursday is to plan our meals in order, and then balance the budget. Because on Fridays, I try to plan for the next week, go ahead and start planning, especially our food. But I try to do our budget as well on that day. And so on Saturdays as a family, we typically clean the house in the morning, just do like a brief reset and pick up our groceries. So I'll write down clean home and then pick up groceries. And then I also like if we have time to go do an activity as a family, or even just maybe make time for crafting, maybe like a craft project that's still kind of considered work. So I'm working on a face memory book for the kids, for like all of our family members and stuff. Like I'm trying to compile them a book so they can familiarize themselves with who everyone in the family is, even though we don't see them that often. So I would probably try to reserve our Saturday afternoon for something like that. All right, so this is how the week is looking. So that was my week at a glance. Just a few last minute things. One, I just want to remind you that this is a tool. Let it work for you. Don't let this be something extra to stress about. Don't focus on perfection. This is just about getting it out of your mind and onto the page, and just be flexible because things are not going to always go as planned. And so when they do change, you can just shift things around, but at least you aren't starting from ground zero every single time. And so in line with that, I do recommend just revisiting this list throughout the week, especially every evening before you get ready for bed, just to make sure everything still applies and nothing has changed. And if it does change, just move things around and keep it moving. But if not, you have a clear mind and a clear direction to get your day started. So go ahead now and grab your free brain dump and weekly planner below in the description. And so as you start this week, I pray that you remember that the Lord goes before you. He is already in the future with us, walking hand in hand with us as we try to live out the calling that He has called us to. So I hope your week is full of purpose and it is full of joy. And if you found any value in today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stay tuned for more videos like these. And be sure to check out my blog, blackhomemaking.com, where I give out more helpful tips and encouragement to homemakers and stay-at-home moms. Stay blessed.